Will now be recorded.
You guys able to see my screen, right? You guys able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so what is the topic that we discussed in the previous session?
Relations.
Relationships. So how many types of relationships we have?
3 types.
Yeah, what are those?
One to many, many to one, many to many.
Very good. So we have three types of relationships: one to n to one, n to n. Okay. In the previous session, we discussed about the one to n relationship and n to one. So if you know about one to n, uh, if you want to know about n to one, it is exactly opposite to one to n. So basically, one to n or n to one, they are quite opposite. Okay, if you know about one, so you can also know about the other one because it is the exactly opposite to the one that you know. Okay, so that we discussed yesterday. So I will give you some data. Okay, I will share you some data, and you need to identify uh, which type of relationship that I wanted to create. Okay, so I will give you some data. So client will not tell you whether you have to create 1 to n or n to 1. So it is not like that. Okay, so you have to decide. He will only give the data. Based on the data, you have to decide whether you have to create n to 1 or 1 to n or n to n. Okay, so they will only give you the data. Based on the data, you need to identify which type of relationship that you have to create. Okay, so now I will give you the data. Now you tell me what type of relationships that we have to create. Okay. uh, okay, just let me think. I'm just thinking what kind of. So I know few examples about okay.
Subjects and class teachers.
Yeah, object. mm, University student. Okay, fine. Yeah, so we have two tables. Okay, first table is university. Okay, second table is student. So I have two tables data. Okay, I have university and I also have student. So universities are like KL University. Okay, KL University, Geetham University. Okay, CBIT or JNTU, something like this. Okay, I have the universities like this. This side I have number of students like Ram, Sita, okay, Navya, Sai, Dattu, okay, Bhavita. I have the student information like this. Okay, so I have student IDs, some ID, student ID. Okay, any ID you can give. So I have student information like this. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, see, when I open university record, I can only see information of university, name of the university, okay, or address of the university. Let's say name of the university, and I can also see address like KL University, let's say Guntur or Vijayawada, okay, Geetam University, let's say Vizag, JNTU, let's say Hyderabad. I can only see this information when I open any university information, university record. I can only see this information, name and address. And when I open any student information, I can see the name of the student and the ID of the student. So if I, so now you tell me, uh, so I have the tables like this, okay? And now you tell me, I will ask you a few questions. You tell me whether it is possible or not, okay? So is there any possibility that university can have many students? Is there any chance that university
Yes.
can have more than
Yes.
one student? Like
Yes.
if you take KL University, it can have 1,000 students also. Geetam, it can have 1,000 students as well, right? Let's come to this side, student side. So any student, is there any possibility that he can be studied in more than one university?
No.
No.
No. So from student side, student should always associate to single university. But from university side, university can have many students. University can have many students, right? You understood, right? Till here, everybody.
Yes.
So each and every university can have more than one student because in KL University they can have 1,000 students as well, right? More than one. When it comes to the student, I can only study in one university. I can't study in multiple universities, right? So from student side, we should only have university, single university. Now you tell me which entity act as a parent, which entity act as child.
University as parent,
Parent. Yes.
student
Okay.
as child.
So any other guess? So everybody agrees to that, or do you have any other opinions?
Yes, good. Same. Universities
Same.
as a parent and the student as a child.
Okay. Now you are telling that university should be parent and a student should be child. Correct or not? Now you tell me what kind of. So we have three types of relations, right? 1 to n, and then n to 1, and then n to n. Now you tell me what kind of a relationship that I have to create on university. I'm
1 is
asking
to n.
only specific to university.
1 to n.
So you are okay. Few members are said like 1 to n. Any other guess? Everybody agrees to that, or do you have any other opinions? Guys, respond. Everybody agrees, or do you have any other
One.
opinions?
1 is to n. 1 to n relation.
1 to n. Okay, how are you saying that it is 1 to n? What made you to decide you have to create 1 to n? Why are you going for 1 to n?
Because it's an organization and we have many students. Single organization, many students.
Correct. But why you have to go for 1 to n? Why not? Why can't you go for n to 1?
Because parent can have many childs. And
Correct.
child cannot have many parents, right?
So, yeah, in yesterday's class, right, we discussed now if it is parent, what should be the number first? If it is parent, the number should be 1. Correct or not? So, now we identified university as parent. If it is parent, it should start with 1.
One.
And the child should be n. So, what kind of a relationship that I have to create on student?
N to 1
N
Why
N to
it
1.
is n to 1?
Because
because it's
multiple
a
students,
child.
single organisation.
Student is a child.
Student is a child. If it is child, what could be coming first?
N.
N.
N. So n to 1. Simple, right? Simple, right? So I will
Yeah.
give you, I will give you some more data. Now you identify. Okay. So I have a bank entity. Okay. I have a bank entity, let's say. Or let's say I have student entity. Okay. I have student entity. I have sport entity. Sport. Okay. So I have, let's say, we'll take the same student records. Okay. I have student information. This is student entity. Okay. This is student entity and this is sport. So what is a sport? Cricket. Name of the sport, cricket. Let's say volleyball, basketball, uh, what else, football, etc. Okay, now you tell me, now you tell me, uh, first you only identify what kind of relationship that we have to create between these two tables. Before that, you identify which one is parent, which one is child. Okay, now I am giving you this data. Now you tell me, now you tell me, uh, which one is parent or which one is child, or do we have any parent or child?
Sports
Sports is
is
parent.
parent. Student is child.
Okay, student is child, sport is parent, you are saying.
Mm.
So sport
Both are
is,
parents.
okay, someone is saying sport is parent, student is child. Okay, someone told that both are parents, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. This is parent and this also parent. Hmm. So let's understand which one is correct. Okay, let's identify. See, now if I ask you one question like, can I play more than one sport?
Yes.
Yes. So student can play cricket, volleyball, basketball also, right?
Mm.
Or he should always play cricket. He can play more than one game, correct or not? More than one sport. So student can have more than one sport. Okay, so this is parent only. So it can have more than one. So come to this side, sport. Sport can have a single student or multiple students.
Multiple
Multiple.
Multiple.
So
students.
cricket can be
Multiple.
played by Ram, Sita, or Dattu, anyone, right? So it can associate to multiple records. So both sides, it is parent only. So there is no child. So from student side, he can have more than one sport. From sports side, he can have more than one student. Sport can have more than one student. Correct or not? So now you tell me which type of relationship we need to define between them.
Many to many.
Very good. So now you need to define n to n, many to many, uh, between these two, many to many. Okay. But previously I told you now, if it is parent, you have to start with one, and if it is child, you have to start with n. But in case of many to many, that logic will not work. Okay. So if both are parents, it is n to n only. So don't apply that logic, this logic, like one is parent, n is child. This will only apply in case of 1 to n or n to n. If both are parents, then you can simply say that it is n to n. Okay, many to many. Clear? Everybody clear? Everybody agrees that it should be n to n?
Yes.
Okay. Now what, see, if you create in CRM, in the previous session, we already discussed about 1 to n or n to 1. And I already shown you how to create 1 to n or n to 1, right? See, now if I create n to n, so do we have any lookup? Will it create any lookup?
No, subgrid.
Both the sides subgrid, because from the student side, I have to show the records of sport, multiple sports. When I open RAM, let's say RAM is interested in playing cricket and football. So when I open RAM record, I should be able to see two records, cricket and football. When I go to the sport, when I open cricket, let's say cricket can be played by Ram and Dattu. So when I open cricket record, I should be able to see Ram and Dattu. So both the sides, I have to show multiple records, not a single record. So we are not showing any single record. So you no need to, system will not create any lookup here if it is n to n. So both the sides, you will be having the subgrid. This side, you will be having subgrid of what? Subgrid of sport. This side, what will you have? Subgrid of
Student.
subgrid of student. Very good. Okay, both the sides you will be having the subgrids. Okay. One more thing I wanted to tell you here. See, if you define if you define many to many relationship between two entities, if you define n to n relationship, many to many relationship between these two entities, Microsoft will create intermittent or intermediate entity. Okay, when you define end-to-end relationship between these two entities, Microsoft will create a intermediate table. Okay, so it will create intermediate table. Okay, so it will have intermediate table. See, this intermediate table, it will have the name. So what, when you are creating end-to-end relationship, right? There will be a schema name, no? So with the same schema name, this intermediate table will be created. Okay, with the same schema name which you are giving here when you are creating end-to-end relationship. So this intermediate table will have two lookups. Okay, this intermediate table will have two lookups. What are those? Lookup of student. First is lookup of student. This is first lookup. Okay, see, this intermediate entity contains two fields. The first field is from the first entity, student entity. Okay, second field is from the sport entity. So here also you will be having the lookup of sport. So the data will be aligned like this. Okay, two fields will be created, and those two fields will be the lookups of those two entities. Uh, those two entities. Okay, so what I am saying, when you define end-to-end relationship between any two entities, Microsoft will create an intermediate entity, and that entity will have the lookup of first entity and the lookup of second entity. Okay, let's say if you assign some records, let's say Ram is willing to play cricket and volleyball. He wanted to play cricket and volleyball, let's say. Okay, and Sita, she is interested in basketball and football, let's say. Okay, so let's say if you have the data like this, then this data will be stored in the intermediate table. How will it store? So data will be stored like this. So what is the lookup of the student? Lookup of the student is Ram, right? Ram is associated to two sports. So student name is Ram, and the sport is what? First one is cricket. This is first record. Okay. And Ram is having volleyball. He also interested in volleyball. So Ram is interested in volleyball as well. So the data will be aligned like this in the intermediate table. Now Sita. Sita is interested in basketball, basketball, and Sita is interested in football. So data will be aligned like this. Okay. So data will be aligned like this. You're getting my point, right? So now we will try to create student entity. I think we already have it, right? Let's check if we have student entity or not. So this is our CRM, right? This is our CRM. Let's say if I want to make any changes to the entity, I need to go to the solutions. How to come to the solutions? So URL settings only true. You can open the solution. This is the solution that we are using. I just wanted to check if we have student entity or not. Think I have student entity. Okay, expand. I have client, contact, and product. Here it is only showing three entities because I added only these three entities into the solution. We also have, I also have student entity, but it is not added into this solution. Let's add, click on add existing entity, and I wanted to add student entity. Okay, this is student entity. Select the student entity, click OK. Okay, let's click on finish. So I added student entity. I already created student entity. So that is why I'm just adding into this solution. In case if you don't have student entity, you can directly create. Okay, so I have student entity. So now I'm going to create sport entity. Okay, so let's create sport entity. I don't have sport entity, so now I am creating a sport entity. Okay, sport. Okay, so plural name is sports. Okay, so let's click on save. Now it is creating an entity called sport. Click on wait. Okay, let it create. Let's wait. Yeah, so sport entity got created. Okay, so let's save it and publish it. So now I am publishing the changes. So entity got created. Okay, now I have sport entity, I have student entity. Okay, so let's come back here. So do we have sport entity here? I created a sport entity, but is it showing up in the left navigation? Student is there. See, student is there. Okay, but do we have sport entity here?
No.
So how to add a sport entity here? if it is not there?
We need to add page. We need to click on sales trial,
Very
add
good.
page.
Very good. So this navigation which is showing up here, it is specific to this app. So you need to make changes in this particular app to show the sport entity. So click on sales trail. This is sales trail app. Click on these three dots, open in app designer. Okay, so open in app designer. So here search for the, yeah, so click on add pay. Okay, first select where you want to add. Let's say I want to add just below to student. Okay, just below to student, I wanted to add that page. Click on add page. Data was table. So what is the table? Sport, right? So select that sport entity, click on add. So now you have student entity, you have sport entity. Click on save. Publish. Now I am publishing the changes. Now the sport entity should show in the left navigation. Okay, now it is done. Let's go back. Click on sales trail. Okay, see now you have sport entity. Click on sports. Okay, let's refresh. It should not show that exception. Right. So create some sports. Now I am creating cricket is one sport, volleyball, football. Okay, let's say we have three sports. Okay, we also have students, right? Students here. Let's say if I open Ram. Okay, if I open Ram, uh, can I see the sports which he is playing? Do I have any option to see the sports which he is playing? Ram, student. Are we able to see the sports from here?
No,
No, there is no option to show the sports which a particular student is playing or interested in. See, if I go back to the sport, if I open any sport, okay, if I open any sport, can I see the students which they are interested in this particular sport? Do we have the
no.
view of students?
No.
No. So these are initially before creating end-to-end relationship, they are individual tables. Student is individual, sport is individual tables. You're getting my point, right? So you can't see the student information on sport, or you can't see the sport information on student. So when I open RAM record, I will not be able to see the sports which he is playing. If I go back to the sport, if I open cricket like this, sport equal to cricket, I can't see the students which they are interested in this particular sport. So we don't have any option. So that is where we introduced this concept called relationships. Using relationships, if we can relate these two tables, I can see the student information on sport and sport information on student. If I create a relationship, then I can see the information of sport on student and student on sport. That is the use, right? So let's go back to the customizations page and create this end-to-end relationship, many to many. Okay, so so now we are going to create many to many, right? You can create many to many relationship either on student or on sport. So you have two entities, student entity, sport entity. Let's say if I expand student entity, I have end-to-end relationship. See here, I have end-to-end relationship. So if I expand sport entity also has end-to-end relationship. So which end-to-end relationship I should create? Which one I should create? Which one I should go for? Sport entity has end-to-end. Student entity also have end-to-end. So which one I should use?
We can go either student or sport.
Very good. Either I can go for student end-to-end or I can also go for sport end-to-end. So here one thing you should remember, when I create end-to-end on student, okay, when I create end-to-end relationship on student, it will create the same type of relationship on sport. Okay, so Microsoft here, what they are doing, if you create end-to-end relationship on any particular entity, let's say if I create, let's close this. If I create end-to-end relationship on student, it will create same end-to-end relationship on sport. Or if you create end-to-end relationship on sport, it will create end-to-end relationship on student. So if you create one end-to-end relationship, another end-to-end relationship will be created on the opposite entity. I'll show you that. Okay, right now under sport, how many end-to-end relationships are there? I clicked on end-to-end. Do we have any end-to-end relationships?
No.
We do not have any end-to-end relationships. Okay, now I am going back to the student. Click on end-to-end relationships. Okay, student has one end-to-end relationship, but that is related to teacher entity. Okay, student and teacher, that is a different end-to-end relationship. Okay, so now I am going to create one end-to-end relationship on student entity. On student entity, I am going to create end-to-end relationship. Okay, let's go back and create end-to-end relationship. Okay, what is the first entity? Student. What is the second entity that we need to choose? Other entity. Which entity we should select? Student and what is the other entity that we need to relate?
Sport.
Student and sport. So select sport here. Okay. So I selected first entity as student, second entity as sport. So now we are creating end-to-end relationship between these two. Okay. See the relationship definition here, relationship entity name. You can see this is the schema name and this is relationship entity name. What is this? See, I told you, right? When you create many to many relationship or end to end relationship, it will create intermediate entity. So that intermediate entity name is this relationship entity name. This is the name of that particular. This is the name of that particular intermediate entity. So Microsoft will create this intermediate entity, and the name of that particular entity is this. This is what we are giving it here. Okay, so now I am creating this end-to-end relationship. Let's click on save and close. Now it is creating a relationship, end-to-end relationship. Let's click on wait. Okay, now I created end-to-end relationship for sport entity. So I created it on student entity. Let's go back to sport entity. So this is sport entity. Before, do we have any end-to-end relationships on sport entity?
No, sir.
No. So let's click on end-to-end. You can observe that. See, Microsoft has created this end-to-end relationship on sport entity. We discussed now, when you create end-to-end relationship on one entity, on other entity, Microsoft will create the same relationship. Okay, now this is done. Now I created end-to-end relationship on student. So click on the student entity, just publish the changes, save, publish. Now I am publishing the changes because I created end-to-end relationship. Now I will show you how the data looks like. See, now let's refresh this particular page. Okay, so let's click on students. Let's say if I open any student, let's open Ram. Okay, so now this is Ram record. I do not have any option to see the sport which he is playing. But when you click on related, okay, it is not yet. Okay, let's refresh it one more time. It was not published properly, or it is taking some time to refresh. Okay, let's go back to the sport. Open any sport related. Okay, why is it not coming here? You can see the student entity here. Okay, it is not coming. Okay, let's go back to the entity. This is student entity. Let's click on end-to-end relationship. This is end-to-end relationship. Okay, so let's publish it one more time. Let's publish the sport entity. Click on the entity, save, publish. Okay, do the same thing for student entity as well. Click on student entity, save. It got stuck. Let's wait. Yeah, it is getting published. Now this is done. Let's minimize and refresh. Refresh, control function F5. Let's check if we have. Okay, still there is no. Okay, when I click on student, open student, still it is not showing up. Okay, I'll do one thing. Okay, so what we discussed, if I create end-to-end relationship, do we have a lookup or do we have a subgrid?
Subgrid.
Subgrid.
Both sides subgrid, right? Subgrid of sport on student, subgrid of student on sport. So let's go to entity. So now I am on student entity. Click on the forms. I clicked on the forms. Open main form. Open main form. I opened main form. So here I wanted to add. I wanted to add subgrid, right? So what we decided, both sides we should have subgrids. Now I am on student entity. On student entity we should have the subgrid of sport, right?
Sport.
So click on insert here, click on insert. You have a subgrid here, subgrid option. Select the subgrid option. So which entity records you wanted to show in this subgrid? Which entity records you wanted to show?
Sport.
Sport. So select sports here. Entity should be sports. Okay. So you can give the name like sports data. Okay. Name is sports. You can simply click on OK. Now I added a subgrid here. Now I added a subgrid here. Sports subgrid. So click on home. Save the data. Publish. Okay. On student entity, I added sports subgrid. On the other side, on the other side, on the on the other side, see here, you have sport entity. Go to the forms. Open main form. Okay, so click on insert. See here you have subgrid. So yeah, try to add the subgrid. Which subgrid we should add here? I am on
Student.
sport. Student. So entity, select it as student. Students. Okay, so students. Click on OK. Okay, so I need to enter the grid name. So name should be students. You can give any name. Okay, it's up to you. Now I added student subgrid on sport. So click on home, save it, publish. Now we are publishing the customizations. Okay, now this is done. So let's refresh this particular page. Refresh. So let's click on the students again. So let's open RAM. This is RAM student. See, I open RAM student. See here, when I open RAM student, you can see a grid here. Below to this is student grid. Right now, RAM is not associated to any sport. Okay, so you can click on add existing sport, add existing. Let's say he wanted to play cricket and volleyball. Okay, let's click on add. So when I click on add, you can see the sports which he is playing here. So when I open RAM record, you can see he is interested in playing cricket and volleyball. Okay, let's open another student. Let's open Sita. Click on add existing sport. Let's say if he is interested, she is interested in cricket and football. Let's click on add. See, when I open Sita record, I can see that she is interested in cricket and football. You can also remove it. Let's say if you want to remove this sport, you can simply select this football and click on remove. Remove is there now here. Just remove. Okay. If I remove it, she only interested in playing cricket. So when I go to the sport, let's go to sport. Let's open cricket. How many persons are interested in cricket? How
Two.
many students?
Two.
Two. Ram and Sita are interested in cricket. You can also add another student. Let's say Lakshmi is also interested in playing cricket. Add Lakshmi. Click on add. So you can also see that Lakshmi got added to cricket sport. When you open Lakshmi, you can see the cricket information. So the sport which she wanted to play is cricket. So now you are seeing this data in the grid, right? This grid will fetch the data from the intermediate table. I told you na, Microsoft will create an intermediate table, and this intermediate table will have this particular data. Right now, see, Lakshmi is associated to cricket, right? So now the data will be like Lakshmi, and she is interested in playing cricket. The data will be stored like this. And when I open RAM record, let's open RAM record. How many sports he is interested in? Cricket and volleyball. RAM is cricket, volleyball. Okay, the data is already there. So the data will be aligned like this. You're getting my point, right? So from this table only, the data will be fetched and shown under the grid. So the data which is showing in the grid will be fetched from this particular table, intermediate table. Okay, Microsoft has written the code in that way. Okay, they are fetching this particular data from that table only. Okay, let's say the student is Ram, right? If I remove this cricket sport, remove this cricket sport for Ram, then a record will be deleted. So this record will be deleted from the intermediate table. If you add let's say add existing sport. Let's say I am adding football to Ram. Football to Ram. Then Ram, a record will be created. Ram football. So if you add them, if you add there, it will create a record. If you remove them from that grid, a record will be deleted from this particular intermediate table. So data will be stored in this particular intermediate table. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? You guys with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, see, I wanted to tell you the last thing on the relationships. See, previously we created what type of relationship? We have created client and contact. Client and contact. We created one-to-one relationship, right? On contact, we created one-to-one relationship. Okay, we have many. Let's go to the client, EN1. In yesterday's example, okay, it should be to the contact entity. So this is the relationship that we created. See here, when you are defining any relationship, let's say if I click on N to 1 relationship, I am creating N to 1 relationship. So when you are creating any relationship, you have you have to set the relationship behavior. So this is also very important. You also need to specify the relationship behavior. So you have, I think, four types of behaviors. Click on this. You have parental relationship behavior. These are the behaviors. See, if anyone asks you how many types of relationships you have, you need to tell them three: one-to-n, n-to-1, n-to-n. If anyone asks you how many types of relationship behaviors, if they ask you about the behaviors, then you need to tell them four: parental, referential, referential restrict delete, configurable cascading. Okay, so type of behaviors: parental, referential, referential restrict delete, configurable cascading. So there are four types of relationship behaviors. Okay, so what will happen if I select parental? What will happen if I select referential? What will happen if I select referential restrict delete? You're getting my point, right? Configurable cascading. What will happen? So that we will see. Okay. This is kind of a theory only. Okay. See. So if I type it like MSCRM relationship behaviors. So if I type it like this, you will get lot of articles, and that they will explain you what is parental. See here, you can see. So you have four types of behaviors: parental, referential, referential restricted delete, and configurable cascading. Okay. Okay. See here you have parental. So what will happen if I select the behavior as parental? Let's say, so the type of behavior is, let's say if I select it as parental, what will happen? So actions on the parent automatically affects the all child records. Okay. So if I select the behavior, if I select the type of the behavior as parental, what will happen? The actions on the parent automatically affects all childs. Okay. So what does this mean? I'll tell you. Okay. So now yesterday we created this, right? So we have a contact entity, we have a claim entity. Okay. Let's say Dattu has two claims, claim 1, claim 2. So we created one-to-one relationship, right? Let's say the behavior is parental behavior. Okay. So behavior means I'm talking about this relationship behavior is parental. So if it is parental, what will happen? What they are saying? actions on the parent. Parent is contact. Actions on the parent. Actions means delete. Let's say if I delete this particular record called Dattu, okay, on the parent, parent is contact. I am deleting contact record, that is Dattu record. Okay, if I delete Dattu record, automatically associated claims also will be deleted. See, Dattu is associated to how many claims? Is associated to 2 claims. So if I delete Dattu, the claims also will be deleted because we selected the behavior as parental. If I select the behavior as parental, then whatever the operations which we are performing on the parent, that will affect on the child. So here who is the child? Claim is the child. If I delete parent, child also will get deleted. If I delete Dattu record, these 2 claims which are associated to Dattu also will get deleted. That is parental. Parental means actions on the parent will get effect on the child. If I delete parent, child also will get deleted. Everybody clear with this?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to the second option, referential. Records are linked, but actions on the parent do not affect the child. Okay, records are linked, but actions on the parent do not affect the child. So which means that similar to but to prevent the deleting parent. Okay, yeah, so records are linked but actions on the parent does not affect the child. What does this mean? Let's say if I select type of the behavior as referential, what will happen? So let's go back to the example. Let's say if I select it as referential, what will happen? Let's say if I delete contact, if I delete Dattu record, okay, this is parent. See, claims will not get deleted. Okay, claims will be there. Only parent will be deleted, which means that actions on the parent will not affect child. Okay, actions on the parent will not affect child. If I select behavior as referential, if I delete Dattu record, claims will not get deleted. Claims will be there. But in case of parental, if I delete Dattu, claims also will get deleted. Associated claims also will be deleted. Everybody understood?
Yes.
Okay, that is referential. Okay, so the third one is referential restrict delete. Okay, so this is also similar to referential only the difference is restrict delete, similar to referential, but prevents the deleting a parent record if child record is exist. Okay, I'll tell you. Let's say if I select the type of the behavior as referential restrict delete, what will happen? Let's say this is referential restrict delete. If it is referential restrict delete, what will happen? Let's say if I delete Dattu record, so Dattu is associated to how many claims?
2.
It is associated to 2 claims. So system will not allow you to delete Dattu record because 2 childs are associated. So first we need to delete the childs and then we have to delete the record of Dattu. Referential restrict delete means system will not allow you to delete the records until you delete the childs. Okay, first you need to clear off the childs and then you have to clear off the parent. Okay, if you delete Dattu record, system will throw an exception saying that you cannot delete because Dattu is associated to 2 childs. First clear off these 2 childs and then delete the parent. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. let's go back to the last one. Configurable cascading. So allows specific independent behavior configuration for actions like assign, share, unshare, reparent, and delete. See, configurable cascading means you can configure the relationship. See here. See, if I select it as parental, you don't have option to modify, assign, share, unshare. These options are not editable. If you select referential, not editable. If you select referential restrict delete, not editable. If you select configurable cascading, then they are enabled. You can define your own settings. Assign can be cascade all or cascade active or cascade user own or cascade none. So you have an option to define your own behavior for assign, for share, for unshare, etc. So basically, configurable cascading means you can define your own settings. But if you select parental, referential restricted delete, you don't have the option. Okay. So these are the four different types of relationship behaviors. So in case if you want to know more about the behaviors, you can simply type it like this, MSCRM relationship behaviors. You will get lot of articles and you can go through them if you want to know more about them. Okay. So with this, actually, we are done with the relationships. This is very, very important topic. Based on this topic only, we are going to write the code. Okay. So please spend some time on this. If you understand this, uh, then it will be easy for you to define the relationship between the entities. Okay. So that's all for today. So in case if you have any open questions, you can raise. Open for questions. Okay. If no other questions, Datta, do you have any questions? I am not able to hear you, Datta, if you are speaking. Navya, are you able to hear him?
No, no. Even I am also not able to hear.
Yeah. No, still not able to. Okay, fine. There might be some issue with the speaker. In case if you have any open questions, you can also raise it in tomorrow's class, Dattu. Okay. Check your mic. We are not able to hear you, but yeah, we can discuss that in tomorrow's class as well. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for joining, and we will reconnect tomorrow. Okay.
Sure.
Bye.